Hello everyone, how's it going? In this video, we're going to look into what is happening with Palantir Technologies. There are 5 topics that we're going to cover in this video. Number 1, the Palantir and Data Robot partnership. Number 2, partnership or rumor with Tesla. Number 3, partnership or rumor with BMW. Number 4, an amazing foresight of how Palantir thinks. And number 5, an interesting insight on Palantir that you would want to know. Let's get started. So Palantir and Data Robot, they announced their partnership earlier last week, where Data Robot is another data analytical company, where both of them spoke about and they have announced their partnership. And this is into demand forecasting for retailers. So companies like Walmart, Costco, and other retail organizations, in order to understand what the consumers are looking for, what's something that they would be interested in way in the future. So later in fall, what are those things or what are those objects which consumers would be needing? They would, based on that, demand forecast and try to stock up on those products. And where is Palantir and Data Robot basically coming here? And why does Palantir need Data Robot in the first place? But let's get started. So Palantir Technologies is going to be using their foundry for these retailers. And there are two stages where Palantir is coming here. Number 1, this article speaks about, and all of this is already in the description for you to review and research on your own. The number 1 aspect is Palantir is going to help integrate all this different data points for these retailers, because they have all these data that is going to be collected and bring down in one particular funnel through Palantir. So first stage, Palantir helps in collecting all this data and bring it in an integrated funnel, basically funneling through. And that data then goes into the Data Robot system, and this Data Robot system helps in creating different types of models, different machine learning and AI models, automated models, and then using those models, it can predict what kind of demand forecasting can happen. All those models will be then sent back to Palantir's foundry system. And that's where number 2 stage of Palantir comes in, where Palantir will be helping people decide using this data to control their shipping and logistics systems. That's the second most interesting aspect, because it's not just integrating the data, which is used for different AI applications, but the second feature is it's going to help retailers manage the whole system. So it's going to be more like an ERP system where it's going to control different types of aspects of the business. That makes it more interesting to look into. And the next thing is this particular this article is being going on the Reddit, and you can review it yourself. But basically, this seems like a Chinese page where it's talking about test drive Model S at Palantir Technologies, and they're talking about different topics where it's talking about how Model S can be, test driven for 15 minutes drive, and there will be someone who will be accompanying along with you. And it came on the Chinese page, and this is all in Chinese. It's just translated for us to understand. And this Palantir Technologies word automatically, for some reason, came up and been pasted here, but there's no link, there's no information, anything whatsoever. But yeah, interesting to look into. And the second thing that's going on is this rumor regarding Palantir working with BMW. So another automotive contract with BMW could be announced, and this thing is been going on for a lot of time. And most recently, it again picked up frame on this one. But yeah, 3 months ago and 1 month ago, 2 months ago, I've seen different types of articles where they're talking about how BMW might be working with Palantir. Now, a few things interesting that people are pointing out is here, this one. For example, if you look into those different Indeed or LinkedIn pages, Thomas Elsewhere, this is the manager of consulting BMW, he has put down that project lead on his particular work history, project lead on big data CRM market approach, partnering with AWS, Palantir, and Qualtrics. Then this one, Maximal, he's the project management at BMW. He's also talking about working with Palantir. He's giving a little bit more detail, modification and adaptation of the BMW group strategy for the US market. Example, by implementing a digitized, holistic end-to-end customer experience journey map in collaboration with Palantir. Again, this is one, the data strategy, analytical automation. Again, BMW North America, build and create dashboards and data visualizations to support business decision making by using different analytics and business intelligence tools like Tableau and Palantir. Next, This is Stephanie, and again from Team BMW. This is interesting because she worked at Palantir in the past until 2019, and then now currently works as a data analytics person at BMW since October 2019. This is from Peter, the project manager at BMW for the big data analytical firm, and he's also talking about industrialization of data assets in cloud platforms, AWS, Palantir, and Foundry. Again, this is the last one. This is an intern at BMW manufacturing assisted business users in migrating decentralized data from IBM Cognos to AWS for generation of reports in Palantir. Yeah, so something interesting to look into. Now let's come down to this one. This is one of the most interesting foresights that I came across. This is an article which I just came to read, and this is from April 21st, 2020, where it's talking about, this is on the Wall Street Journal. They're talking about Peter Thiel's Palantir saw coronavirus coming. Now it braces for the impact. And this is from April 21st. Basically what they're talking about is Palantir has long-standing contracts with US CDC and prevention, and the firm's top brass worked on confidential models early in the year that showed the potential of a rapidly increasing outbreak. Palantir rushed in mid-February to recall staff members from abroad and ordered them into a 4-week quarantine. So that's interesting because COVID-19, I mean, we've been hearing about it, but in the United States, it only started to hit at the end of March, and that's when companies and different organizations started to take it seriously, and then try to take different types of mitigation approaches. But Palantir, to do that, to get right on the bat from beginning, that's in mid-February, that's interesting to look into. And that shows the amazing foresight of how Palantir is thinking. And this is pre-IPO. This is something that happened before even they went into the public domain. Now, let's look at this one. This was announced on April 13, 2020. We also know about Palantir's contract with the NIH, which is the National Institute of Health for Britain, where HHS awards 1 year 17 million contract to Palantir for quantum licenses. This is from the past. This is just basically a GSA contract with General Service Administration from the United States awarded to Palantir. But the interesting fact is this was announced right at first week of April, and that's the same time when Palantir started giving out solutions to companies like, or organizations like the HHS, the NIH, and different other countries out in the world to help combat the COVID-19. So it's that era where COVID-19 has just hit. People don't know what's going on. People don't know what this virus is about to do or how much it can impact. And suddenly these shutdowns and quarantines are going on. So many companies are still just educating themselves on this. And at that instant, a company like Palantir is coming out and giving solutions of how to mark or how to utilize that information for their advantage, to help with the doctors, with the hospitalizations, for the beds, and for all these ventilators that's going to be used. So Palantir had a solution for them right off the bat, right when COVID-19. I can't think of any other company or anything or any other organization who would be able to jump onto the fact right away. Now that's something interesting to definitely look into. Let's come back to another insight on Palantir. So with over at Peter Thiel, there was an interview back in the days, and someone asked him, okay, Elon Musk, he's into building EVs with Tesla. He's sending rockets to space with SpaceX. He has the Boring Company where he's trying to create a new transportation system. He has the Hyperloop. He has the neuroscience. There are so many things that Elon Musk is doing, and an amazing guy. How can you create, or how can you find different, make different Elon Musk, and how can you build another Elon? And that's where Peter Thiel gave up here, and he gave his solution to it. And he's big name in the industry, in the venture capitalist, in the tech field. So he basically gave an example to that answer. He didn't have a full solid picture to give him through, but an insight gives you an interesting aspect. So he gave an example of how the PayPal mafia the people who worked at the initial beginning of PayPal. And for the number one, and a few things to look, interesting things to look into. PayPal itself was a revolutionary concept. PayPal, right when PayPal was announced, they changed the banking system. Right when PayPal was coming up through, there was no other companies who was doing banking on an online basis. When PayPal was the first company to come into the market and provide all these online resources for banking activities. So they were creating a revolution right off the bat at that instant. And Peter Thiel was at the helm. Elon Musk was at the helm. There are many other people at the helm. And the interesting aspect is all those people who worked at that PayPal company in the beginning, they went on to start other billion-dollar companies. Example, Reid Hoffman, he's the founder of LinkedIn, another billion-dollar company, and right now, and he was in that PayPal group, in the initial PayPal group. Elon Musk, he was the founder of X.com, which they later then merged with another company called Confinity, and which then became PayPal. And then this was he was in that group, in that initial group. This is another person, Jeremy Stoppelman. He's the founder of Yelp.com. Then Javed Karim, he's the founder of YouTube. All of these people go back to that beginning with PayPal. And if you go back to Peter Thiel, one of the most interesting things that he's known for a 10% stake at Facebook for only $500,000. So he was in one of the initial investors, right, even before Facebook came into the market, or people come to know about Facebook, and right when Mark Zuckerberg was just initializing or building venture capitalist for himself, Peter Thiel went in and invested $500,000 for 10% of the business. Imagine that. Facebook is right now $900 billion, and owning a 10% of Facebook and for just $500,000. Imagine the stake that he has in Facebook right now. He has sold a couple of things from him, but still, that shows you the foresight of how this guy thinks, because there are many other companies in the social media industry before Facebook, in fact, but the amount of foresight this guy has of how the world is going to change and how things are going to move out in the future, that is very interesting. Now, coming back to these people. So basically, he's mentioned that these gentlemen, all these people who worked over at PayPal, that they went out and established all these revolutionary companies like LinkedIn, like SpaceX, and with the YouTube, and there are many other companies that are not listed in this video. But basically, he mentioned that all these guys, when they worked at PayPal, and PayPal itself was a revolutionary company where they were disrupting the whole banking industry, he showed how these guys got an experience, how they got a taste of doing the impossible, doing something which is revolutionary, doing something which is very difficult, but now they know that something that as difficult as that is possible, and these guys just went about and doing it. So that's where he gives an insight of how these guys work. And coming back to how this will affect Palantir is because at the helm of these things, you have Alex Karp, you have Peter Thiel, and the whole PayPal group, who understands that yes, they can build up some revolutionary stuff out there and game-changing things and get it running commercially. So yeah, that makes me feel good. But again, yeah, do your own research. These are just insights for you to share. And a couple of other videos, these are some good videos, I'll put it in the link, and some of the information that is posted here were taken from these videos. And this is from PalantirVision.com channel. This is from Felix and Friends. I'll put both of these links in the description for you to review and look at for yourself. Some interesting insights, definitely. But yeah, with that, take care, stay safe, bye-bye.